Hey, what's going on, good people? It's Gardner Douglas, your Oyster Ninja. I'm here today with Mr. Joe Gillette, like the razor, and we're going to talk about shucking cancer coast to coast. What's going on, Joe?
How are you, Gunnar? Great to see you today. Happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day, man. So this Sunday, we're going to be doing something big, man. We're going to be doing the Shuck Cancer Coast to Coast. It's no, this Saturday. I'm sorry.
It's Saturday. It's this Saturday night, starting 7 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah. So and this is to benefit the American Cancer Society. Is that right?
Yeah, it's going to benefit the American Cancer Society and the Billion Oyster Project. So we're actually, we're doing this. It's a great collaboration to cover two great non-for-profits that service all our communities.
Can you just tell me a little bit about you, man? Because like you're like taking this head on. I mean, I know it's a lot of people working, everybody working together. We're all in this together. But just tell me a little bit how you got into like volunteering and doing things for the Cancer Society.
Sure, I've been volunteering for the Cancer Society for, time gets long, but it's about 12, 13 years now, and it started off really just by attending a local event. But cancer affects everybody in our communities, no matter where we are, no matter what our age is, race is. It doesn't make a difference. Sooner or later, when we turn to the left or right, we all know someone that's been affected by cancer. And in working with the American Cancer Society and kind of the structure they have and really the freedom that they give to their volunteers, we're really encouraged to be creative and come up with ways to fund the amazing research that they do, and also the services that they provide in communities throughout the country. I mean, the American Cancer Society is interesting because it's a national organization, to some extent international, but we all have our local chapters, no matter where we live. So it's really something that covers a broad spectrum. So I found that I can make a difference doing it, and using creativity. I started working on a regional level, and eventually I became a national co-lead. For the volunteers, along with Steve Bell, who's also one of our hosts here. So I've come a long way from just doing it in my neighborhood here in Brooklyn, and we've really branched out, and it's been very, very rewarding for me.
So just what can we expect, or what can the listeners expect Saturday night, Saturday evening?
So it's interesting. Typically, when people think about fundraising events, and this has always been the history, there's a physical event that you go to, and that's really been the norm for as long as I've been a volunteer. But a little by little, as I try to make more of a national impact, I've really embraced these type of virtual events because I think they reach a broader audience, and you could be a little bit creative. When COVID hit, back in March, fundraising, for nonprofits, not just the American Cancer Society, fundraising for all non-for-profits hit a wall. And listen, times are tough for everyone, but not-for-profits, can't survive without continued funding. You know, cancer patients still need treatment. Researchers still need grants. So, I started working on ways to come up with, to still fund all these important things that the American Cancer Society does. I had worked with my friend Steve, who again is going to be my co-host for Shuck Cancer on Saturday night. He's out in California. And together we came up with, sort of a brand called Coast to Coast, because I'm here in Brooklyn, he's out in California. And the first thing we did virtually was a wine tasting with a vineyard out in California, and we had an expert on who taught us how to drink wine and what to look for. We did some sampling, and bottom line, it was really a 1 hour event, a lot of fun. We reached a broad audience, and it was kind of a cool formula because everyone was stuck at home, and yet we were able to kind of socialize. We followed that up with a coast to coast comedy event, which also had a broad reach, a lot of fun, people still stuck in their homes, yet it was a great sort of way to be entertained and socialized. And that's when I started thinking about Shuck Cancer. There's a very well-known physical Shuck Cancer event that takes place in New Orleans. But I thought, given what was going on in the world, and the success Steve and I had with the coast-to-coast idea, I thought this could be the perfect topic for a coast-to-coast event. So I did a little research, and I found that there was an organization here in the New York City area called the Billion Oyster Project, which is all about farming and sustainability and education, and trying to kind of reinvigorate all the beds around New York Harbor, which, from what I understand, at one point were just a wealth of oysters. And in reading about the Billion Oyster Project, I came across the name Julie Kui. I think that's how she pronounces her last name, and the oyster goddess, as she calls herself. And she had this awesome blog about, international oyster hunting and all these different types of oysters and different people that she met. And I said, wow, this, she could be a great presenter, at this Shuck Cancer sort of webinar that I wanted to put together. But what I found is that, when you're doing these type of things, people have a really short attention span. So if you can get a couple of different presenters, you really can put together a quality and compelling program. So I reached out to Julie and told her what I wanted to do, and that I wanted to give some money back to the Billion Oyster Project. And she loved that, obviously, because that's, at the heart of what she does. And we started talking about, different things that we can do for a program. And I said, I have to get someone, people, see oysters and they're closed. So I need someone to teach us how to shuck. And she said, wow, I got a guy who is a nationally ranked, oyster shucker. And she pointed me towards your direction, Gardner. And I did a little bit of research about you before I reached out. And I said, wow, this is also kind of fun and compelling, and different different things that people don't know. And I reached out to you cold call, and you were so gracious and said, yes, immediately. So, right off the bat, in two easy, asks, I had Julie and I had you, which was, a great start to it. Since we were going to benefit the Billion Oyster Project, I thought another great angle would be to have someone who could talk about the sustainability issue. So I reached out to Pete at the Pete Malinowski at the Billion Oyster Project, and again told him what I was doing, and Pete was a quick yes. So, I can tell you I've done a lot of projects, and I always try to kind of get people involved. You don't always go 3 for 3 in about in about an hour and a half, but
Oh,
from
man.
it's there's usually, you get used to having either calls not returned or emails not responded to, or I'm busy. But you guys were really just again so gracious off the bat. So I had the three of you pretty quickly. And then the fourth aspect I thought, which would be kind of compelling, is when you speak to people about oysters, and I don't have to tell you this, everyone's first impression that the only way to eat an oyster is to eat it, raw off the shell. And people that love that, I mean, they love it. But a lot of people who tell you they don't like oysters, and I've learned this, have never tried oysters because, again, they only see that, on the half shell thing. So I thought it would be really cool to have, a chef who could present a portion of the program with some recipes about how you can enjoy oysters by cooking them if you can't get over, your visual of seeing them on the half shell. So I reached out, I was asking a little bit for some recommendations, and uh, Robin Selden, who is an executive chef in the Connecticut area, was recommended to me by 3 different people at the same time, which was an amazing perfect storm.
Yeah, that's
They
sweet.
said, it's not like it's like she came from 3 different directions, and it turned out that Robin is also a big supporter of the American Cancer Society. So I thought she would be perfect, and again on the fourth ask, she said yes immediately. So from, usually when you're trying to put content together, you spend weeks doing it. I literally was lucky enough to have the 4 of you say yes to this program within the span of a week, which was just amazing, and just a wonderful way to start off a campaign. And again, each of you covering a different aspect of the oyster experience, which I think is going to make, for a really compelling, educational, and fun, and that's the key, fun program on Saturday night.
Man, I can't wait, man. It's like the puzzle just fit. You know, the puzzle was put together perfectly. So
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
You got Julie, you know, mistress of ceremony or whatever, however you say it. You know, she's gonna be doing her thing, and she's full of knowledge. You got me shucking oysters, teaching you how to shuck, and then you got Pete on a sustainable tip, and then you got Chef just chefing it up. You know, I mean, it gets no better. You know.
Yeah, I don't think we could have gotten, a better variety of presenters. And, listen, we've all been to webinars, we've been to lectures, and you go to see someone, and, sometimes you're sitting there for, an hour and it's the same topic. And listen, even the best speaker after a long period of time, it just doesn't move along. Here, what we're going to do, it's going to be sort of like not a lightning round because everyone's going to have a perfect amount of time to do it. But again, I think it's going to be kind of entertaining and swift, sort of like entertainment has to be these days. People have gotten used to sort of like these multiple topic things, and I think that's going to be great, and it covers all. That's the most important thing, is it covers all aspects of the oyster experience, whether you're a novice who's afraid and is maybe going to taste their first oyster that night, or whether you're an oyster lover and you have like knowledge of oysters from around the world. I think it's something for everyone, and I'm really excited about you, Gardner, because what you do is you really bring a physicality or physical aspect to it, and I know a lot of people are going to be sort of excited to really probably be shucking their first oyster on Saturday night. So I think that's really a cool, again, even though we're virtual, I think between you and Robin, who are bringing physical aspects to the programming, I think it's kind of cool. Um, Robin's going to share some recipes with us during the week that we're going to start to publish out on our Facebook page and on the Instagram pages, so people can cook for the night, but also give like a recipe list, because she's going to be doing a demo, so people could again be interactive that night and kind of run through a quick recipe with her. So we have Julie and Pete kind of, dealing with, the broader aspects of it, maybe a little bit, educational and philosophical. And then we have you and Robin really, giving everyone a chance to, to do something physical with people from around the country. This is a coast to coast event, and it's not limited by geography. So we're going to be shucking cancer with people from California, Arizona, Alaska, Texas, New York, Iowa, Illinois, Maryland, Florida. I mean, I don't have the full list. I'll probably kind of put it out there right before the event. But I would say at this point, we probably have about 14 or 15 different states represented in those that have signed up for this thing. All, sitting at home doing our thing and being safe, but yet, having some fun, learning a little bit. And at the bottom line, when all is said and done, supporting two great non-for-profits in a time where they desperately need our help.
Man, that's beautiful, man. So, just real quick, how can people sign up for the live stream on Saturday?
I knew we were going to get to that, and I'm never good at memorizing, a website. So I cheated a little bit, and I took a picture of the of the URL. So I'm going to look down. Nothing's happening in front of me other than I'm actually reading this thing. So, so, so they can go to www.gofundme.com/F//shuck dash cancer dash coast dash number 2 dash coast. So it's GoFundMe /F Shuck Cancer Coast to Coast. And
I'll put it in
again,
the description also.
sure. And if you do a search on Facebook, on Instagram, you'll see, that we got it going on.
Yeah.
And the thing I really want to stress to everyone, so the fee to participate is a fee, or actually it's a donation, is $25. If you're a single person, if you're doing it for a household, it's on the honor system. We hope that you'll donate $40. But the amazing thing to remember here, and this is, you and I had spoken about this earlier, because this is not a physical event and we don't have any hard costs, every single dollar that is donated goes to support the American Cancer Society and the Billion Oyster Project. And I think that's a wonderful thing. You know, physical costs, venue costs, back costs are always a part of fundraising. And I know people get upset, and they should, be stewards that the money goes to where it's supposed to go. But here, because we're doing it virtually, every single dollar is going to go to support these two excellent charities. And I think it's something that we could all be proud of, that we're being creative and we're making a difference really from the comfort of our own homes.
For sure, sure. Yo, Joe, appreciate you, man, for just being a great volunteer and taking things in your hands to make a difference. And if we had more people like you, to be a better world. But we're still working on that. But I hope everybody will come out and see me and Julie and Chef and Mr. Pete from Billion Oyster. And Saturday, all the information is going to be in the description in this. And of course, follow us on Instagram at SS Shucking. And Joe, what's the Instagram for Shuck Cancer Coast to Coast?
Yeah, so it's Shuck Cancer Coast to Coast. So again, we kept it simple because again, I would lose track of everything. So across everything, whether it's on Instagram, on social media, if you do that Shuck Cancer #2 Coast to Coast using the #2, you should be able to find this pretty easily.
Boom, bam, bing. We did it again. I hope to see y'all there. Until the next time, peace.
Thank you.